Welcome to another episode of Bella in Your Business. Today, I am definitely going to bring an incredible topic that is never talked about. I guarantee you, if you go try to find this topic in the industry, you won't find it. So this is almost an exclusive on the show. Today, I have Justin Recla with me. He's an Army veteran and former government agent who brought over 20 years of combined counterintelligence experience to the business world. He established the Clear Business Directory and has forever changed the way business gets done. For the first time, consumers and business owners alike can make sure potential partners, investors, and service providers are who they say they are and can do what they say they can do. How often, I want you to think back to someone who you've hired in your business where you've just gotten burnt. If you have had that experience or you fear that experience, this episode's for you. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Bella.
For sure. So, Justin, why don't you fill in the gaps there and break down for me, what is counterintelligence and a former government agent mean? That sounds so like 007.
The super secret and sexy stuff was actually what Tonya did.
Okay.
My wife is also a former counterintelligence agent. And together, we have over 20 years of combined experience in the field. But essentially, it is that cloak and daggers thing. Tonya was doing investigations, doing surveillance and interviews of people that were actually committing espionage against the United States.
Wow.
She traveled all throughout the country following people, surveilling them and investigating them. And a lot of my experiences over in Afghanistan and Iraq, more on an offensive side, gathering intelligence from people. So
Wow.
we've translated that over into the business arena, to help protect business owners from frauds and scams. And more importantly, how to leverage transparency for their own business to establish trust quicker with their potential clients.
I love that. And before we dive deep, I also want to let our audience know that not only are you guys two badass business owners, but you also have a daughter who is like a best-selling author and all this stuff. And I even need to, I think, bring it back a step further. So everyone, I met this incredible family at the Fast Inc. networking conference I was at last week, which I think was just like the most anointed place ever. I mean, that had the feeling of the Holy Spirit or the universe or whatever it is that you associate with. It was all over that conference. And I met this family, and I was so impressed with them and instantly drawn to them that I said, you have to be on this podcast. But more so, I want you to tell us about Neva. Tell us about what she's doing and what just happened to her.
Well, she's 7 years old, and she went to Fast Inc. because they were having a media pitch, because she's in the process of writing a best-selling book. And yet at the age of 7, this is her 5th business venture. And after the pitch was done, she got up there and did her pitch. You can find more about her site at what she's doing at nevaleerecla.com. But after the pitch was over, one of the people from the media, Inc. magazine guys, came up and said, "Hey, I want to write an article about you." And sure enough, the following Monday, her and her mom met with him in person. They knocked out the interview, and the article just came out. So at the age of 7, because of her pitch, she landed her own Inc. article.
Wow.
All about her, and I'm just trying to stay out of her way.
Right?
She's grown up at business conferences, and I've seen the impact that she has on people's lives. And she started off being a philanthropist and giving back to wounded warriors and vets, and it's something she still does to this day. And we're a 24/7 family, and we eat, breathe, and sleep business. We eat, breathe, and sleep each other, and just what we do. It's awesome.
I think that's so amazing. And we're definitely going to put her in our show notes too, because I want
Definitely.
that to be an inspiration to anyone listening saying, I can't pitch the media, or I can't get on stage, or I can't do a 30-second commercial at a networking meeting. Like, come on, you guys. Like, take a page from Neva's story there, her 7-year story. That's amazing. Okay, so getting into this, because I know that a lot of people are thinking right now, on one side, I have been burnt by a website designer or a logo designer or anyone in that fact. I mean, a lot of times we get burnt and then that breeds fear and then people stop moving forward in their business because they feel like I can't do this. And this might even apply to doing our recon on a potential hire for, a dog walker or
Yeah.
office manager or something. So why don't you start from the beginning with us and tell us how business owners can protect themselves from falling victim to fraud or a scam? Like, what kind of things should they be doing?
Awesome. So it's super simple once you break it down, but the problem is that most business owners are so close to their business,
Yeah.
they don't see the hidden risk, because in business it's, I've got a need, you say you can meet that need, I like you, we do business together,
Yeah. And they get
right?
excited about it.
Exactly, and as you should, by all means. And a lot of people go, well, ask us all the time, well, how do you trust? You guys don't trust anybody. No, we do, but we verify.
Yeah.
And it's that old saying, trust but verify. We love people. Is what makes business happen. But as a business owner, what we found is that too many people were abdicating their power in decision making. They would find somebody who was an expert, especially with the tech stuff.
Uh-huh.
Anything web-based, technology-based. They were abdicating their power because they didn't know enough about what they needed. And what we found is that they just weren't asking the simple questions. And so the 3-step process is super simple.
Okay. Break it down.
First step is critical thinking.
Uh-huh.
What do you know? How do you know it? And what do you need to know about the person before you bring them into your business?
Okay.
That applies across the board, whether it be an employee, because we do offer employment screening, or whether it be an employee, business partner, a service provider, B2B transaction, whatever. Apply that first step, critical thinking. And the second step is then asking the hard questions. Right? And this is where most people fail.
Right. They don't know what questions to ask.
They don't know what questions to ask because they didn't do the first step.
I see what you're saying.
So they stop at, well, I need a website designer. I found a website designer. I like the guy. They hire him. They stop there. They don't ask the questions. And as simple as breaking down, how many of these websites have you built? What types of websites have you built? Have you built a website with a shopping cart? Have you built a website with an affiliate program? And you just go down the list, right? But you have to take that pause and do that critical thinking of what you know, and in whatever area of whoever it is you're bringing into your business. And then the third step is verifying that information. So if just because they give you an answer, don't take it on face value, because oftentimes we'll ask people, did you verify it? Oh, yeah. How did you verify it? Well, I went back and their website said exactly what they told me. That's not verification. They built their website. So
yeah.
So of course it's going to match up. But even easier than that is checking the Clear Business Directory. We've vetted a lot of businesses already that are in the directory that operate in transparency. We've got service providers, we've got lawyers, we've got, you name it, we've got it in the directory.
Wow.
And you can go there and look for the business and service providers that you need that have already been pre-vetted for you. And if you are a business owner, it's a great way to leverage trust with potential clients, because people don't realize that trust takes 2 years for you to establish brand trust with your potential clients.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
It takes 5 years before you hit the revenue tipping point, meaning that your potential clients go to your brand first before they go to a competitor.
Okay.
And so the quickest and easiest way to expedite that process and build that trust faster is to operate in transparency.
Okay.
And that's really what the Clear Business Directory serves, is it allows business owners to operate in transparency. It's not a peer review site. And it's not a Better Business Bureau. We don't give you an A+ rating or anything. It's literally, here's who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I show up. And
that's the clearbusinessdirectory.com.
Yes,
I'm on
exactly.
it right now. Yeah.
exactly. And if you have anybody that you're looking at getting involved with,
Mm-hmm.
we do free consults all the time.
Cool.
You can pick up the phone and give us a call. I'm happy to answer and go down the rabbit holes with you and say, okay, what should I be asking this person before I get involved with them?
I think that's a really valuable thing for business owners because you're right. A lot of us don't know what to ask. So because we don't know what to ask, we go, okay, I hope this works out and like cross our fingers and toes, you know?
We call it the savior method.
Yeah.
Oh God, please let it work out.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you said something interesting at the beginning of that. You said you could even help vet employees or something. So how does that all work? Can you explain that to me?
By all means.
And how is that different from like a standard background check that you'd pull on someone?
Perfect. So the industry of employment screening is extremely convoluted especially if you're a business owner, because the laws that exist are designed to protect the employee,
Yes, yes.
not the business owner,
Right,
right? And
right.
who takes on all the risk?
Uh-huh. The
The
business
business owner,
owner.
right? And so we didn't throw our hats into that arena for a long time, mainly because we didn't find a system that really worked. And so we finally found something that worked, implemented it, and it's very similar to what that government does for their background checks. Tony and I actually used to do background investigations for the government, people that were getting their top security clearances.
Uh-huh.
We were the ones that went out and so the process that we implemented uses almost the exact same standard as
Wow.
what the government uses for employment screening. And the difference is if you're just bringing in employees
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have the right processes in place, it can cost. A lot of people don't run these numbers, but depending on what you're paying an
Yeah.
employee, it can cost anywhere between $2,000 to $7,000, if not more, if it's a higher level employee, just to onboard that person,
Yes.
right?
Right.
And so you want to be able to when you're onboarding an employee, you want to make sure they're a good fit,
Right.
and that's asking them the right questions, but then it's also running them through a background check. And so with that, there's certain laws that you have to go through. You have to have
Yeah.
an actual employment background check provider to actually do that.
Right.
And so that's one of the services that we offer, and that varies a little bit different than what the vettings that we offer for business to business transactions, because
Mm-hmm.
in a B2B transaction, there's no social security number. How do you do a background check on a business,
Right, right.
right? Well, prior to the Clear Business Director coming along, there was no way, but we have the ability to do background checks on service providers, partners, and business owners
Uh-huh.
without having to go into the employment screening arena because they're not employees.
Uh-huh. Interesting, interesting. So what are the types of things that you would do to check out like I mean I could see a pet sitting or dog walking company really wanting to vet an HR person that they'd want to bring on to help solve their people
Yep.
problems, make sure that they're a good enough HR person, you know, or maybe an office manager, someone in like a more key point role to help them manage their own business and life. Um, I mean, are you just Googling them? Are you doing those
Ah,
background checks? Like, or is that the trade secrets?
no. So first and foremost, regardless whether you're doing due diligence on a service provider or a potential employee,
Uh-huh.
you definitely have to be doing some of that social media searching, seeing how
Sure.
they're showing up and what their footprint is, what's their reputation. A lot of that is what we do on the back end. But when it comes to employment screening, um, this is where most small businesses fail, is they're getting online and they're doing a Google check,
Mm-hmm.
or they're using a $49 online background check, right? A
Right, right,
database check.
right,
The problem with those online background checks is they're not complete because they're typically just scrubbing the internet for
right.
information that's available out there. And what people don't realize is that local agencies, local law enforcement agencies, and local government agencies don't have a requirement to report up to the national database.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So even if you're using an online service, the chances that it's finding all the accurate information, it's slim and none, because they
Yeah.
don't have access to the systems that we do, that we run our people through. And so with employment screening, if you're going to do that criminal background check piece, you got to do more than just the the Googling of somebody. Because if you're actually bringing somebody in using employment screening, you have to go through a certified provider for that.
Uh-huh. This is so interesting. I love this. Listen, when we come back, I want to talk more about if a company has a due diligence process, like how do they approach that? How do they not look like they don't trust everyone and all that stuff? So we'll be right back. Perfect break.
Yeah, hold on one sec.
Okay, okay.
Be right back. Can you shut her up? Thank you. All right, sorry about that.
Perfect. No, that's why we record, so no big deal.
All right. All right. So, where were you at?
I'll bring us back in.
Cool.
And we're back with Justin Recla. Wait, I said that way wrong. And we're back with Justin Recla from the Clear Business Directory. And Justin, can you explain to me a little bit more about, a business owner might think that this sounds pretty cool, but I'm not sure I can, tell people I'm going to do this on them. I don't want them to think I don't trust them off the bat, or it's just kind of awkward. So how does a business owner approach this type of thing with the new relationship they're exploring to enter into?
I absolutely love that question because it's something we get back all the time. It's one of those, yeah, I get the whole need. I need to do a due diligence process. I need to make sure I'm vetting people, but how do I make sure people don't think I don't trust them?
Yeah.
Right. The issue is that oftentimes we get stuck in making our business decisions. We get attached to them emotionally, right? And so we don't want to think that we don't want people to think that we don't trust them. But by implementing a due diligence process, it removes the emotional aspect from it. Now it's just business.
Right.
Right. And it's simple as that. Hey, look, I love where we're going. I love the conversations that we've had. This feels good. I do have a due diligence process that anybody I bring into my business goes through this process. Just to verify that it is a good fit on both ends. And so from there, it's not a trust thing. It's literally it's a business thing. And I just verifying everything that's being said and not abdicating your power. And here's the thing. Yeah. Large corporations, Microsoft, Apple, they have teams of counterintelligence people like us that do this for them. Okay. And that never got translated down to small and medium-sized businesses, mainly because of the cost.
Right. Sure.
Somebody like me, it's going to cost $300,000 a year more as an employee to bring into your business. Well, small and medium-sized business owners don't have that kind of cash flow to spend on a single employee. And so it just got dropped. But there's a lot that they can do. And this is one of the things that Tony and I love educating on. Is helping establish due diligence processes for business owners. So you can recognize it's not a trust thing; it's a business thing. And here's the beautiful thing: if somebody's not willing to be transparent and authentic with you and go through your due diligence process,
that's a red flag.
That's usually a red flag for us because my first question is always going to be why.
Yeah.
Right, because there's 1,000 other service providers out there. There's 1,000 other people out there that you can get involved with.
Yeah.
If somebody's not willing to take time to answer a few questions and go through your process, because it's not difficult, then that for us is always, well, you should probably go look somewhere else then.
Yeah. That's so interesting. And I don't think anyone has ever understood that there are people out there that do this kind of thing. And I'm just really thinking of the listeners that I'm going to say it again, that are at the point of their business where they're so sick and tired of hiring people and they really need to bring on a project-based HR expert. And they want to make sure that they're bringing on the right person, or they want to be able to separate themselves from their business and create an extra layer and bring on an office manager. And when you're putting these key point people in your business, you want to make sure that they are vetted well. And we're not all equipped with that. So Justin, I want to flip the script here because you said something interesting at the beginning, and it had to do with Also, so we're talking about bringing people in. Now, what if we want to be brought into other people's business or we want them to buy our pet sitting service? How can we use that transparency to help make their decision or their vetting process, whether they realize they're doing it or not? I mean, I think what we've got to realize is we are all vetting each other. We're just not doing it well enough or as well as we could be doing. You know, people are vetting our business every single time they choose to do business with us or hire us to go sleep in their bed with their pets while they're in Tahiti. I mean, that's pretty scary. So what can we as business owners do to flip the script here and show, hey, look, I did a lot of your vetting for you already?
Well, that's awesome. Because there you could do individually you can put together your own due diligence packet, and there's the referrals and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But really, what the Clear Directory does is it actually comes in and vets you as a business for frauds, scams, criminal background checks, and then it puts together in a nice little package. And in the directory, you can put the logo on your website to show that you're third party verified as being free of frauds and scams. And so any prospective clients, you can just say, hey, look, my business has been vetted. I've been vetted by a third party. So it's not just me tooting my own horn. You can go click on the link on my website that says Clear Directory, and you can read everything about me that you need to know from a business perspective. And then that piece is done because like you said, when we're always we're always vetting each other's businesses. And in conversation, it's the vetting from what we call the intuitive due diligence, right? We got to make sure we like each other. We got to make sure we can communicate and get along.
Yeah.
Right. But the mechanical piece is where most business owners fail in getting involved with somebody else. And their clients fail in doing the mechanical due diligence and hiring them.
Right.
And so they're taking a huge leap of faith. But by operating in transparency on the mechanical side and having your business vetted, you can show your prospective clients, hey, look, I'm not only legit, but I know that even if there's derogatory information out there, we've got people that are in our directory that are convicted felons. Okay. That pertain to what they were doing in business, from 7, 8, 9 years ago. Now, there hasn't been anything since, but they're the first person to tell you about it, and they're willing to operate in transparency about it because, look, life happens. We all have something.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah.
A good perspective there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's good.
That was pretty mind-opening, I'm thinking about this from a marketing standpoint, Justin, because so I always say, like, we don't sell dog walking and pet sitting and cat sitting and puppy sitting and sleeping over people's houses. We sell peace of mind, trust, and security. So
that sounds very similar to mine.
Yeah, right? So what better way, and that's why I wanted to get on with you when I heard that, what better way than to maybe entertain or take a look at this? And I get nothing for saying this. I'm just looking at a way. So Rover's coming into the industry, and Dog Vacay is now Rover, and all these people popping up doing our job in our industry. And we're always looking for ways as professionals to really set ourselves as the cream of the crop. And you can't just say, oh, I'm the best, like that doesn't mean anything. But if you were to start a whole marketing campaign that we're vetted and use the scare words like you just did, like scams, and you said a couple other ones that
frauds, scams.
And you could say something like, our business has been vetted by, let me go back to your bio here, former counterintelligence government officers. Well, hot diggity dog, like, damn. Like, that sounds incredible. And when I'm scrolling through the same old websites that say, I'll charge you $20 for 30 minutes and we're the best, and then boom, that comes, that's going to kind of make people stop, especially when we are an outsource for love and we are an outsource for guilt. That's what that's the commodity. If you guys can understand, that's what we actually do. And the reason why people do it is because they want peace of mind, trust, and security. So if you take it from that psychological perspective, while we're sleeping in their bed with their dogs, and you could say you're vetted, I'm just getting so excited about it. Like, if I still had my own pet sitting company, I'd be like, let's do this. And I would go balls to the walls on a marketing campaign, just being able to shout that from the rooftops. But it would have to be an educational marketing way, because people, you can't just say, oh, I'm vetted and slap a logo on your website. You have to make people understand and want to be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
got
really cool. I'm excited, Justin.
yeah, it's what's super neat about it is that we had a lot the idea came from our consulting clients.
Yeah,
And we just had people just tell me who to work with, just tell me who to work with.
yeah,
And we're like, well, my time's over here with these consulting clients, and but there wasn't a solution over here, and so that's where the idea for the clear directory came from.
yeah,
And it's up leveling the review sites, because by all means you can go get yourself in the Better Business Bureau,
yeah. You
right?
get paid for
And
that. That's just a,
exactly, and
it's
it's
just an
not
advertisement.
exactly, and
Mm-hmm.
it really doesn't tell you a whole lot about the business.
Mm-mm.
And the minute a business stops paying for their
Mm-hmm.
membership, their A plus rating goes down,
I know.
and
I'll
that's
never
what.
forget the time I went from a C to an A plus by giving them my phone number, my address, and my website. I was like, you
Woo!
got to be kidding me. Justin, listen, as we wrap up, can you tell everybody how they can reach out to you, where they can find you, where they can learn more about you?
By all means, the best way to get to find us is go to clearbusinessdirectory.com/join. That'll have all the information about what the directory is, why it is, and how to leverage transparency for your business.
That was pretty clear. And if you guys are doing laundry, doing the dishes, prepping your food, working out, walking dogs, driving, this is all going to be in the show notes. I encourage you all to go ahead and subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. Go ahead and shoot me an email at bella@jumpconsulting.net. Let me know you're listening and what stood out to you about the podcast. I also take requests. So if you have anything that you want to hear about, let me know. In any ways, always keep jumping.